Hey, what's up, folks? One more, please. Hold on. Doing summer cast on Facebook too, so I won't look too ridiculous. But first off, let me talk to you. Yeah, LA Night. Give your boy a holler one these days. How you doing, folks? Mm, Ian, great way to start tonight. So, what we talk about for starters? Hmm, who can I talk about right now? Oh yeah, I have a good idea. Oh yeah. Um, I know you guys never heard of Minecraft. Yeah, seriously, there's a movie called Minecraft. I gotta take a quick look at it real quick. Here's the thing: it's opening at $135 million. Now, here's the thing I don't get though. I have nothing against Minecraft. Minecraft is like a big deal to a lot of people, from adults to kids. But here's the funny thing though: it's beating the brakes off of Snow White. And the sad part, it's not much of a challenge. Snow White is not much of a challenge to Minecraft. Because this is what it says right here, if I'm reading this correctly. This is from the deadline. Minecraft movie mania grips nation, opening at $135 million for Warner Brothers legendary pick update. Here's the thing: it's not that hard to beat us Snow White. That's kind of depressing. You think because this movie based on the most long-lived Disney classic of all time and all that, you think like, but here's the problem though: they gutted the movie. Yes, they pretty much gutted the movie and tried to rebuild it in its own woke image, and it looks horrible. Are you kidding me? Frankenstein looks like a stud. Frankenstein looks like Fabio compared to what they try to do with Snow White. With Snow White, are you kidding me? No. But my point being that but congratulations to the people who created Minecraft. And like I said, this game been around forever, played by adults and kids and all that stuff. It's doing great. It's gonna be successful. That's outstanding. But my point is though that Snow White is doing bad. I mean, how bad we're talking? Okay, let's go up to Snow White box office. Oh, here we go. See where we at right now. Oh, yep. This was said right here, if I'm correct. As of now, Snow White has a mixed box office performance. It opened with $43 million domestically and 187 globally. So I don't know math whiz and all that. That's like 130 bucks. But here's the thing: Minecraft is going to beat the brakes off it, and it still sucks. And this is for the opening week. First, the opening week. In the second weekend, it grossed an additional $14 million domestically, bringing its domestic total to $70 million. That's disgraceful. And this is what it says here. It says here that there are concerns that it may be struggling to reach 300 or $400 million globally, which consider a box office safety net of $500 million. In other words, in order to barely break even, you're gonna hit $500 million and they get worried about it. The best thing is saying overall, while it made a decent start, its future performances remains uncertain. If that movie makes $500 million, I'd be surprised. I'd be totally surprised though. Let me check Wikipedia, so be on the safe side, because you got people, different people sucking up the Snow White, like, oh, this is the greatest movie of all time. No, it's not. You pretty much got it the original and put your own woke garbage in there and say it's Oscar worthy. No, it's not. The only type of Oscar is worthy is Oscar the Grouch worthy, and I don't think he wants it. Let's see. I'll go on better. I'm gonna check out Forbes magazine. They probably have like a better idea of how it's gonna be because the people of Forbes magazine is more business, investments, and all that. And so far, Snow White is a very poor investment. Okay, look carefully. Yep. Says here, Disney's attempt to revive a beloved classic is off to a bumpy start. Bumpy? Bumpy. You might as well jump off a cliff and say that you got a bruised knee. Right. That's putting it mildly. The company's live action remake of Snow White was supposed to be a major 2025 tentpole, but so far things haven't gone exactly as planned. The film is drawing headlines for all the wrong reasons, from lukewarm ticket sales to controversial comments made by lead actress Rachel Zegler. Now, there's yet another sign that the movie isn't just clicking with audiences, the music. Yeah, I noticed that too. This was says that even though Snow White was positioned to be family-friendly musical, one would should have generated a fair amount of excitement from fans and Disney devotees. The soundtrack is underperforming in a big way. It's not just missing major milestones or failing to match the original, it's barely charting at all. Ouch, that hurts. I heard like one part of Rachel Zegler singing, and she's singing like she's in an arena. Why you belt your voice out in a movie? You don't have to like blast your voice like you're in a stadium and all of that. In the original movie, it's soft, it's feminine, it can hypnotize men, women, and children. It's such a soft, feminine voice. The original movie, Rachel Zegler, she's singing like she's at a concert. You're in a movie, Rachel. Seriously? Now let's talk about Snow White debuts on 2 Billboard charts. Now this should be interesting here. Because sometimes for movies they have soundtracks, and sometimes the soundtracks do great, sometimes not so great. The Snow White soundtrack arrives on Billboard charts this week. So surprisingly, it fails to reach the top 5 or even tally. A surprising outcome given how tailored the roster it does land are for release like this. Oh boy, here we go. On the kids album chart, the set starts a journey at number 11, narrowing missing the top 10 launch. Its performances, it performs even worse on the soundtrack ranking, which still regularly should have been its natural home. There is opens lackluster number 19. Oh my word, that's horrible. Snow White soundtrack doesn't manage to find space on any of its more competitive Billboard rankings as it debuts. It falls short of reaching the top album sales chart. Indicating weak purchase numbers, it doesn't appear anyone on the Billboard 200, a tally that combines sales and streaming to rank the most consumed albums in the US. So basically, the soundtrack sucks. Plain and simple. Basically what they're saying pretty much, the soundtrack sucks. And that's not a good sign. Holy moly, am I seeing this correctly? In fact, let me copy this link so I can pass to you guys so you can see what I'm looking at. You thinking like, Jeff, what are you talking about? No, you can see it for yourself. Hold on. And just take a look at the Forbes article yourself so you can confirm what I'm saying, though. Now, you know it's pretty rough, but the soundtrack is bad and the keywords underperforms. What else it says here? Okay, check this out. In an embarrassing twist, Snow White isn't even the top performing Disney title this week. That honor goes to Frozen, which originally dropped more than a decade ago. The Frozen set reappears at number 3 on the Kids album chart and rockets at number 7 on the soundtrack list, easily surpassing the brand new remake. So in other words, Frozen, the movie that been made 10 years ago, is wrecking Snow White. I'm like, okay. Another comeback also overshadowed Snow White. Let the Canary Sing. The soundtrack connected to the Cyndi Lauper documentary. Okay, comes back to the sound charts at number 17. This is Cyndi Lauper. She'd be like more like the top 10. That project has already racked up 17 appearances on the tally, proved to have some more staying power than the latest Disney release. That's a smack. Wow. Basically calls a box office disappointment. Shocker. Okay. I think it ends off here if I'm looking at this correctly, though. Yep. It ends up here like this. So far, Snow White has brought in $145 million globally, with just under half of that total coming from the United States theaters. According to Box Office Mojo, unfortunately, the film's reported $270 million budget, which includes both production and marketing costs, means that Disney is likely facing a substantial loss. No kidding. In some past cases, the studio had been able to recoup a portion of its investment through successful soundtracks. Think Frozen or The Lion King, which is true. Frozen I haven't seen, but I heard it's pretty good. Lion King, the very first one going like over 20 years ago, I loved it. No question about it. And I think the soundtrack's pretty cool. Albums didn't just support the film, but it became a standalone bestsellers. That doesn't appear to be happening here. When the soundtrack falls short on the charts, it looks like this modern-day take of Snow White may fail to deliver on all fronts. Bruh, ladies and gentlemen, that's brutal. That is so, so brutal. Don't know what to tell you. But let's have some fun. See, what can I pick here? Start with this one. And here we go.
If I saw this movie on a plane, I would still walk out. This trailer makes me want to sit on the TV and look at my couch. I paid nothing to watch this trailer, but I already want my money back. Coming to a theater near you, me, is that a threat? They should have made Rachel CGI instead. Mark Brown and the 7 Discord Mod.
Hold it. Hold on a sec here. Alrighty. Hmm. Okay, anybody here? Hmm. Yeah, everything gets bonkers and it gets all messed up. Okay, apparently still alive somewhere, but so far I only see myself here. But yeah, like I'm over here on this side, it's a big blank. That didn't work. Hold on, hold it. Aha! Yeah, work hard for that one though. Okay, let's get apology for the technical difficulties. Seems to be like a regular occurrence here on this week with JTT. Like I said, watch out for the t-shirts. I'm gonna be selling them soon. I'm probably gonna do it through Shopify. That's the only thing I think I could do that to sell the t-shirts without that bigger issues through Shopify. It's gonna take me a while to get that project off the air, but I think the only way I can pull it is Shopify. Hold on a sec. We go to Facebook. Hopefully the Facebook is all right. Uh, that was one. Let's find something else we have fun with. Oh yeah, this one here.
I have a family. This is possibly the only step on video I haven't wanted to see. The dwarfs look like unused models from the Polar Express. She don't need no light, she independent now, independent from success. Mirror, mirror on the wall, Snow won't get the seven gender. Mirror, mirror on the wall, Snow of White and the seven registered offender. Mirror, mirror on the wall, let me give my therapist a call. Mirror, mirror on the wall, one shall stand and one shall fall.
I have way too much fun here, folks. I have way too much fun with this here. But that's what I'm here for. I'm here for this all night. Let's see. This one here.
I showed this trailer to my therapist, now he's in therapy. Snow White, hello, anybody here, projector operator, just me. Snow White and the $7 total box office income. Movie janitors are getting a day off with this one. I threaten my kids with this trailer when they misbehave. Rachel Fodler, this is the perfect movie to watch on a plane. The odds of two disasters happening to you at the same time are very slim. Even Stephen Hawking would have walked out of the theater if he'd had to watch this film. Mirror, mirror on the wall, a fight in the seven pronouns. Mirror, mirror on the wall, tell it, just gouge her eyes out. Snow White looks like those Indians that built houses in the jungle. Disney used to touch hearts, now they touch you like a creepy uncle. To theaters near.
That is just wrong. That last part was just wrong. Except for that last part is just wrong. Oh my word. Oh, the guys who the person who made this that singing video is funny, but still so wrong. Is it the same one? Well, I'm about to find a few moments. Just one more. Just one more. Then like if you go like Jeff, you stop torturing with this. It's too funny. It's way too funny, but it's too. But I'm sorry. That this guy's sad. But hold
Mirror,
on.
mirror on the wall, as a turbinite claim cultural appropriation. Mirror, mirror on the wall, Snow White in the 7 CGI abomination, making the dwarfs look like a PS1 hack rig was a bold choice. Rachel Zegler looks like a medieval squire boy. Marvel's lost $237 million, Snow White, hold my beer. Disney used to make people famous, now it ends acting careers. Mirror, mirror on the wall, why the seats are empty in cinema hall. Mirror, mirror, the biggest Disney football.
Okay, okay. I love that. I love that. Bottom line, the Disney classic. Snow It could have been, one of a box office marvel, pardon the pun, could have been like probably the best, not just in 2025, it could have been the best of the decade. If they done it correctly, if they cast it correctly, if they direct it correctly, the potential is there. But it went off the rails. And the funny part, people couldn't say, okay, we got Rachel Zegler, okay, no big deal. Here's the thing, her ego, her narcissism, her attitude, her self-entitled attitude, that is what sunk the movie. That's what sunk the movie. The funny thing is like the difference between her and Margot Robbie for Barbie. Do you hear Margot Robbie talk trash about the character she's playing? Do you hear her talk trash about the Barbie franchise? And that's been around for many decades and all that. It's not as long lived as Snow White, but Barbie been around for a long time herself. You didn't hear Margot Robbie trash talk Barbie. You didn't hear her talk trash talk about the Barbie movie and all that. She didn't talk trash talk about her other co-stars or anything like that. No, no. And I've been wrong. Like I said, I'm not a Barbie fan. Never have, never will be. Because that movie is hyper woke. It's said to be geared towards women, especially for the feminists. But guess what? That movie was super successful. I had to give credit where credit's due. I gotta give Margot Robbie her flowers. I've been told she's a great player, a great Barbie and all that stuff. And that thing made over like about $1 billion. The key word: if a movie makes over $1 billion, it's doing phenomenally great. So my thing is though, like, what's up with Rachel Zegler? Her pride and her ego. That what torpedoed Snow White. They say like, okay, we're going to make it to more modern. Why? You gonna tell me you can't find somebody to retell the story of Snow White? You gonna tell me you can't? Why are you trying to make things so woke? Why? You gonna tell me you can't cast a female who had to be Caucasian? What Caucasian, very fair skin, very dark hair. That's not racist. That's retelling the story that we told forever. What's so harmful about that? But you know what? They went their way. They said, you know what? We're gonna do it our way. You gotta gut the main thing about Snow White and remake it in your woke image, and this is what you get. If the idea is to make money, you get a very poor investment. If the idea is try to tell a story, a lot of people are ignoring it. And like I will be surprised. I still wait for people to tell me like you're hearing stories about anybody walking out of the movie theaters and all that. I know kids going like, "What's this?" One thing I saw, but maybe going, "Wait, what happened here?" Is don't be talking. Yeah, I know it's a spoiler. Don't care. The movie sucks. Dopey speaks. Dopey is like the Harpo Marx of the Seven Dwarfs. He don't speak, but Dopey speaks. Seriously? Harpo Marx of the Marx Brothers did speak long after he stopped doing his things with the Marx Brothers. He started speaking after he left the Marx Brothers and do his own thing. I'm gonna find a recording though. I'm curious what he sounds like. Because the story is like he started talking and he kept talking and talking, and people stopped from giggling to laughing hysterically because the guy would not shut up. It's like the guy thought being supersonic, and all of a sudden he's a blabbermouth. It's like, but I can look into that one though. But I did say I gotta look at the movies as woke. I say which movie that was successful as woke, and which movie did horrible. Like I said, I like the Marvels because I like Captain Marvel with Brie Carson, and I love it. The movie did great, over $1 billion. On Disney Plus, Ms. Marvel, I'm not gonna lie, I loved it. I forgot the actress's name who plays Ms. Marvel. She did a great job. And the other one, I've got the lady's name. She was in WandaVision. I forgot her name. I think she's in like the other Captain Marvel. I'm not sure it's Photon, something like that. But they're called the Marvels though. But long story short, I think she did a great job too. The problem is like they made it very woke, but the biggest problem I personally have with it, they made a chump out of Nick Fury. Nick Fury is the only one of very few human beings who pretty much could be able to screw with the Avengers. He created the Avengers. He could destroy the Avengers at will. Because he knows so many secrets, so many of the Avengers' weaknesses and strengths. He could be the one to take them down if he has to. But that's besides the point. But by comparison, though, that's bad. Like all this hype, think of this movie as Oscar worthy. The sad part, like Rachel Zegler got the capability of between the singing and acting, she could put an Oscar worthy performance. But the singing part, I was kind of surprised at. Then until I heard her sing herself and one of the clips, and she was belting it out. Like, here's the problem with that. You don't have to be belting your voice out like you're in a stadium. You're in the movies. Listen to that of Snow White. It's soft, it's feminine. It's not like you can't hear it. It's strong, but it's soft, it's feminine. The original Snow White, movie where she started singing. And I think other movies like Frozen, it's same deal. It's not like it's soft, you can't hear it, but it's strong. The voice is strong, but it's very soft and feminine. It's like, wow. But Richard Zegler, he's like going, okay, you can stop screaming now. Me on mine. But let me go something a little bit more serious now because I have a fun, talk about Richard Zegler. It was a blast though because I was laughing. This is the same guy saying like, yeah, the prince is stalking the princess. Weird. Yeah, it's weird. Your attitude and your temperament, and you're the reason why that movie sucked. Plain and simple. But let's get serious here, folks. A while ago, I talked about a woman who accused this man of rape and kidnapping her, and the guy spent a month in jail. And that just sucked. That was just beyond wrong. I tried a video of another story I met at Track Cross, and I'm going like, can't believe what I saw. And I'm like, to say if I'm disgusted is putting it lightly, though. I'm going to copy the link and show you that because you gotta see it for yourself. Even I'm going like, why? Well, there's a reason why she did it though, but it's still not right. As far as the person's name, now mind you, before disclosure, this happened like in 2013. Full disclosure, this happened like around 2013. The person's name is Elizabeth Coast, and she accused somebody of a crime. I think she accused a guy of a very serious crime of a sexual type, and it was all false. You want to know why she accused this guy of a crime? Because she got caught and looking at very explicit material. Now her mom was super strict, so instead of her taking the full responsibility, she blamed him. Now the reason she blamed him because he left town. Now eventually they found this guy. The guy was sent to prison for 4 years. 4 years? Are you serious? Yeah, 4 years. So I can find the right one. So here we go. Hampton Roads Northeast. This is like it's from 3WTKR. Hampton Roads. Okay, this is like from 2013. It's been posted on May 21st, 2013, and goes on like this. Hampton, Virginia. A woman whose lied sent an innocent man to prison entered a guilty plea on a felony perjury charge in Hampton Circuit Court Tuesday. This is like 2013, mind you. This is like more than 10 years ago. A Hampton grand jury indicted Elizabeth Coles on charge last month. Today, the judge accepted her guilty plea. Coles claims that Jonathan Montgomery forced her to perform some type of sex act on her when she was 14. When he was 14 and she was 10. Now, it wasn't until 7 years later, key words, 7 years later, that Coles brought the charges forward, apparently using them as a way to explain being caught looking at sexually explicit websites by her parents. So basically, instead of taking responsibility for her misbehavior, she got to blame somebody else. And in itself, this guy lost 4 years of his life. 4 years. You got to keep listening, folks, because the way this whole thing turns out makes me sick to my stomach. And this, I got to say, men, watch your backs out there, because there's some women who will lie. And I would say throw you under a bus. No, throw you under a bus, gentlemen, is merciful. They throw you under the tank and pull a Liz Claiborne and run you over like about 24 times in some cases, if you're not careful. Goes on to say, Montgomery was sent to prison, where he served more than 4 years before Coles recanted her story, telling a Hampton police officer who she worked with that the whole story was made up. Even at recantation, Montgomery stayed in prison after his release order was blocked by Virginia Attorney General Ken, whoever the heck his name is. So the guy has been found, innocent, and he wasn't allowed to leave. Are you serious? Basically, she recanted. It's that being like, he was blocked by Virginia Attorney General. Are you serious? That's when News Channel 3 stepped in and fought for Montgomery's release. Amen for them. Asked Virginia Governor Bob McDonnell to intervene. McDonnell did intervene, giving Montgomery a conditional pardon for freedom from prison. There's 2 days before Thanksgiving. Montgomery must still receive a writ of actual innocence from Virginia Supreme Court before his state can be completely cleared. That's bull. That process is on hold until after Cole's case is resolved at the request of his attorneys. In court Tuesday, Special Prosecutor Rick Newman of Hopewell presented 2 pieces of evidence: the transcript of Montgomery's June 2008 trial, as well as a handwritten confession from Coles. Newman says that he has not made any decisions about sentencing recommendation. Outside the court, Coles did not respond to any of News Channel 3's questions. Her attorney, Ron Smith, though, said the decision to plead guilty was hers alone. On her own, hers to me that she was to plead to this case not contested. Smith explained she's pretty strong-willed about the position that she's going to accept responsibility for what she did, and that's what she did. She'll be sentenced in Hampton Circuit Court on July 22nd. Now, this is like 2013, mind you. Now, you think that's the end of it? No, it's not, because this man lost 4 years. 4 years of his life. You think this man is going to be able to get like a he's because normally people be in um, prison innocently to get a big cut. No, the guy got about, if I'm heard correctly, this is according to the YouTube video I also posted on here as well. This man got like $170,000. That's it. That's a joke. That's a joke. He lost 4 years of his life. He lost Lord knows how many opportunities and all that. And plus to the psychological damage and emotional scars, plus to the fact he's like treated like a sex offender in prison. You think these prisoners are going to give this guy a break? Nope. I don't begin to imagine what happened to him. So if I was him, hopefully he sued the city, sued the state, and most of us sued Elizabeth Coast. Because that's some bull. All because she was too scared to face her parents for looking at porn. That's just ridiculous. As for her part, let me spell the part what she said. I got select all this part too and send this to you guys as well so you see as well. I'm just annoyed because a man lost 4 years of his life for a crime he didn't commit. Simple as that. And she said, like, well, I'm sorry. Well, get you sorry you want. Montgomery, this guy's name Montgomery spent 4 years in Greensville Correctional Center after being wrongfully convicted. No kidding. But sad thing is that I think she's like, probably was sent, she probably, I think, was sent to prison like all weekends. I go like, wait, time out. You mean instead of staying in prison for a long stretch, she goes to prison just on the weekends? Are you kidding me? That's a joke. That's like another way of going to detention voluntarily. That's a joke. Like I said, gentlemen, be careful out there. Sad part, not every female is as evil and thoughtless as Elizabeth Coast, but still, you gotta watch your back out there, because if you're not careful, these women will make your life impossible to live. They'll make your life into an instant nightmare. That I can guarantee you. Unreal. Yeah, this one says here, Elizabeth Coast falsely accused a man of raping her, leading to his wrongful conviction and 4 years in prison. After confessing, she receives a 2-month weekend service only sentence. Are you kidding me? Here's my biggest problem with that, though. What if a woman is a legit victim of a sex crime? Now they're gonna like drag their feet. They're gonna gonna question it. They're gonna say, is she for real? Is she serious? Is she telling the truth, telling a lie? It's because women like Elizabeth Coast, who pretty much screws up for everybody. Because now it's gonna be more problems for the actual victims. She should get more than a 2-month service only sentence. No. Mr. Montgomery served 4 years in prison. I think she should serve 4 years as well, plus an additional 2 months probation period and taking class about being a misandric, selfish human being. Yeah, I said what I said. Because, like, that can happen to anyone. That can happen to anyone's father, brother, cousin, friend, even husband. Keep that in mind. Whew, okay, I gotta catch my breath now. I was getting angry again. I don't like being angry, but it got me upset. It really does. Well, I gotta end this on a more positive, happy note. Is number one, Thunderbolts are coming soon. I'm excited for that one. 2, the new Superman movie is coming out. I'll probably gotta do like a little bit on that next week if I can. And one thing I noticed, the banking, like for example, when Christopher Reeve, may rest in peace, first took flight in Superman, it was iconic. It was pretty cool. Then you got Henry Cavill on Man of Steel. That was pretty cool. That was pretty boss. It's like, wow. It's like he didn't just float up into the air and all that stuff. He took a very hard leap. And first he had a hard time flying, to finally he mastered it. I've gone like, now that was awesome. That was cool. Now this new Superman, how he's gonna do his Superman flight. That should be interesting though. I'm gonna try to find a clip when the guy got punched so hard he got sent to the North Pole and he called for crypto. I'm gonna try to find that piece. I show you that and do my reaction to that. But other than that, folks, I'll get ready to end this soon because I got ready to go to sleep because I get sleepy. But folks, I say thank you very much. By the way, 5,000 subscribers I have right now. Anybody who's my ride and dies, I say thank you very much. Thank you. I love you. I encourage everybody to talk to everybody else to give me more subscribers. Like I said, you got any questions, concerns, you got any ideas and all that, let me know. I still try to get back to people asking about crypto, and I'll try to do some research as well aside about the questions asking about cryptocurrency and all that. Crypto is like it's a real thing, but you gotta be careful. The good news, you can't make a lot of money for crypto. The bad news, you can lose a lot of money for crypto. So if I was you folks, crypto sounds like a good idea, but please do yourself a favor. Do not, I repeat, do not empty your 401k into the crypto. Do not. You will not be happy with yourself. I say, and most, like I say, if you can afford to pull like $500 and let's say like several types of cryptos and see which one will work, which will not. If you can afford $500 and try to experiment with crypto and all that, that's great. But like I said, only pull out whatever you can afford to lose. If you can afford to lose $500, go for it. Now, if you can afford to lose like $50, go for it. If you lose $5,000, I still say don't do it. Unless you hit the lottery recently and you can afford to lose $5,000, don't do it. Like I said, crypto is something you should be very careful with. It's like this is a very volatile bomb. It's going to blow up. It's a good thing, or blow up. It would blow up and be a good thing. You make some money, or implode and you would lose a lot. Okay, at that point, I can start saying I want to say thank you, good night, folks. And as I say, stay good to each other. God bless.